By 12:30, they added another 20 lakhs and the positions were added. By 1:30, the positions started to fall and it is below almost at 90 or 80 rupees. This is somewhere around 2014. I literally lost 50 lakhs in a single day. You might be able to earn for 200 or 300 days, but one fine day is enough not only to ruin your trading career, to ruin your life as well. Two important factors which I would say I've learned from my highest profit and the loss. And most of you know me as a Scalper Siva. These are the things which made me to hold on to my positions and Hi, I'm Sivakumar Jayachandran, founder of OI Pulse and One Click. You all know me as a Scalper Siva, but many of you doesn't know my life journey, more importantly, how I came into the stock market. So here I am today with the Joe Stocks team, wherein I'll be sharing my life journey. How did I start? How did I got into the stock market? Where did it all begin? So let me tell you first. First and foremost, where did I start? I'm a hotel management graduate. So when I say hotel management graduate, many people would not associate with me on the stock markets. Yes, even I was never expecting to be there in the stock markets. Way back in 95, when I started to join the hotel management, mostly it is purely because of my parents' compulsion. I had to get into that because one of the godfather of my father who said that I think the hotel industry is going to be the future. Why don't you ask your son to go and join it because he can get a job in the cruise, not only in cruise, he can go settle in US or in Switzerland, become a chef or run a restaurant as well. That's when I got into the hotel management and did my course over there. But during the course, I was not enjoying myself. That's when I started to look for other avenues. So when I say other avenues, it's not the stock market. So many people think that it is a stock market. No. So way back in 2001, I got an opportunity to join the BPO industry. Those days, BPO was just a startup. Yes, I started as a financial transaction executive trainee way back in 2001. But it was a journey worth of effort because I was enjoying myself, spending 8 hours in the day, learning new things, learning about the entire US revenue cycle management process and everything. And I created a record in that organization, being one of the few employees who got promoted or completed the probationary period within 3 months. So that journey really helped me. And that's when I started to think about how I can move forward. That's when we got an opportunity in a startup company in Bangalore. This is way back in 2003. I started into the healthcare as a team leader in that particular company in 2003, and myself was around 15th employee, and my wife was 16th, and there was another guy who joined as a 17th employee. So you guys are going to be asking me, right? How did I come into the stock market? The guy who joined along with us on that particular day, who transformed my life, who also got me into the stock market. So when we were almost getting into this, the company, like in trying to grow the company and other things, the company gave us plenty of opportunities. It is a startup company. There was plenty of challenges which was coming in. So I couldn't enter into the stock market in the early part of my journey in the healthcare BPO. Around 2007 and 8, that's when I was getting settled and I was becoming like a manager, managing more than 500 odd employees at that time, and I had some plenty of time in the morning wherein I was able to utilize for something else. The reason is we were working for a healthcare BPO for the US company. Normally, the US shift starts after 3 or 4 in the evening, so normally you will get the entire day between 9 and 3 entirely free for you. You could utilize that for anything and everything. And I used to look at this guy like, and because I was a manager and he used to be a team leader at that time, and he used to come in the car, and we both were earning, and we used to come in the bike, and I was asking him a simple question: when we were getting like a two-person salary, we were not able to meet our requirements, but you are having only one salary, you are able to buy a car. How are you able to do that? He said, simple thing, boss, you guys were earning and you guys are trying to like and keep like in a fixed deposit, or you're trying to do a bank savings and so on. But what I do, I just put it into the stock market. And what are the stocks which I put in, and it has doubled or given me like an extra like an economical returns, and that's where it has helped me a lot. So that really like an have made me to wonder, okay, so if I can put some money in the stock market and if I buy some stocks, it can also give me like a lot of wealth, and that can help me to like and meet whatever the passive income that can help you to buy a car or a house, that you can do it. That is when we both felt that yes, some part of the capital needed to be dedicated into the stock market. So talking about the stock market, that is how I entered into it without having any knowledge. Just say of word from my friend who said, boss, I was earning so much from the stock market because whatever the stocks which I bought, it was all doubling. So any new investor who getting into the stock market, either you would have like and have a friend who would be helping you. Those are the guys who will tell you, yes, stock market can give you the returns, but nobody would tell you there are plenty of perils in the market wherein if you don't have the right strategy and the right analysis or right investment strategies, you can lose everything. That happened with me. When I say that happened with me, initially I discussed with my wife. I told my wife, I'll take 1 lakh of my capital, like in savings, whatever that you have, I'll put it in the market. Let me see my luck. And initially I said, okay, let me try with 1 lakh. And she also agreed. With that 1 lakh investment, whatever the stocks which he was doing it, I was also trying to buy it. He says, boss, I used to buy the DLF at 1200. Now it is available at 600. I used to buy the Jay Prakash Associates, the RNRL. All these names are like in a blue chips names at that time. During 2007 and 8, if you look at the data, all these, if you don't own that, people will say like, are you mad? You're not buying these stocks. That is the kind of stocks at that time, having FT valuations, and all the real estate stocks needed to like would have been rallying like in a crazy. And we also bought some of those stocks. What I did is, initial part of the mistake, once I started to see loss from 1 lakh when the capital became 90 or 80,000, I started to panic, and I asked my friend what should be done. He said like, boss, either we'll hold it or we'll sell it. Without even having any experience, we started to average the positions. I told like, I can't bring in more money. Then he said like, boss, we will average some more, and then it can give you exponential returns. Unfortunately for us, during that time we had the Lehman crisis and then the Satyam saga all playing out. So without even having any kind of the urge was there to make money. With that kind of an urge, you will commit a lot of mistakes. I also did that. What did I did? We had close to 10 lakhs of savings, which we would have done it for over 5 6 years of period. Slowly I was starting to add without even telling my wife that I'm adding the funds. The only reason is I felt somewhere I'll be able to make some money and then put it back in the account, and then I can show her that this much money has been made in the stock market. But unfortunately, whatever the money which I was putting in, it was all going down the drains, and the 10 lakh investment came down to almost 1 lakh. Whatever the stocks which you bought it at almost like 600 all came to 100 odd rupees. The biggest regret is booking a loss at that 1 lakh. Why? I thought the entire money is going to go to zero, but unfortunately, those times I never had any kind of an experience to look at the Nifty PE ratios or the stock PE ratios. That is the best time. If you look at the 2008-9 period, the stock PE ratios or the Nifty PE ratios were at the lowest. That is the time for us to beg, borrow, steal, and put money into the stock market. Instead, I sold all of them. Even if I would have holding on one stock which I was having it, the Bajaj Finance or the Bajaj Finserv, today it would have given me astronomical returns. But the biggest regret is when you are in a downfall and people tend to think that, make you feel that stock market is your game, we all lose the money. So once you lose your money majorly in the investing part of it, the last 1 lakh which I was having it, the next thing which happened is, why don't my try my luck in the futures and option segment? Because those days you were getting a lot of leverage, even both for the buying and selling. People tend to give you like 40x leverage, 50x leverage. So we thought putting the money into the FNO space, we will be able to recover it. But we never thought that that is going to be a faster way of losing your money. And rather than like and also waiting for something to like and learn, we started taking help from the tips providers and HNI Sure short calls. You will see so many people who will be providing you calls because you would not believe in yourself. When you lost whatever the stock money which you have been investing, when you lost so much, you will start to think how you can recover it using others' help. Only sad thing is, Uh, we never went again into the investing part of it at that time. And on the brighter side, we thought in the FNO space we should be able to do it, but we never thought about learning it and doing it. Instead, we said, okay, if particular stock is falling this much, it has a potential to move up. So we go buy without even looking at the RSI or any indicators which were available. So all this were like in a pain points, and slowly I started to lose more. That's when I realized, okay, this is not going to be my cup of tea. Somewhere I needed to bring the guts to tell my wife that I have lost so much. I didn't had that guts between like an almost till 2010 odd time. Uh, Only when she got pregnant, she was under the impression that I'm doing very well in the stock market and I'm going to be buying a new house with whatever the savings which we had. Unfortunately, things changed. She was about to go to my in-laws' place for the child's birth. That's when I realized somehow I needed to have the guts to tell her that yes, I've lost everything. And that's the moment I told her, whatever the money which we have made between 2003 to 2010, everything is gone. She simply said one word, Shiva, the money which we, whatever the savings which we had, it is all from our working for the past 5 6 years. When we came to Bangalore, we started with zero. So I trust and believe in you. I think you should be able to come back, not only in the stock markets, whatever the things which you do. That really gave me a confidence that yes, someone still has a belief in me, and I needed to prove them that yes, I should be able to do it. Then, luckily for me, I moved from Bangalore to Mumbai for a year or two, wherein I got some good opportunities in the healthcare BPO. I started a firm as a director, moved on to the ladder, and after a year and a half, that's when like in some of the colleagues we quit the industry, we all came up together. Someone said like, and there is an investor who wanted to invest in us, and all you guys needed to do is run the company. And we got a golden opportunity in 2011, wherein I was one among the directors to run a company, healthcare BPO. We started with 5 employees, but in the back of my mind, I always wanted to succeed in the trading or in the share market as well. So during this phase, we were learning about the markets, and at the same time, we were concentrating about our new startup as well. So we started with 5 employees in that organization. Slowly, we moved up the ladder, close to 200 to 250 employees within a couple of years. And once you started delegating the work, when you're leading the company, you would find a lot of good time for you to educate yourself. That's when I started to get a hold of it. During this time, I started to do again the investing, little bit of capital every month, because I know I don't have the time to do a complete day trading, considering my work is going to be on the healthcare startup as well. So started to allocate 5 lakhs and 10 lakhs every month on the SIP kind of a model. So when I say SIP kind of a model, I used to dedicate at least 2 3 hours every day, identify the stocks which has the breakout or the potential breakouts, and started to buy them. Not completely on one go. Every month I used to dedicate around 5%, 10%, slowly started to add. And during 2011, 12, and before the 2014 elections, I've accumulated like a good chunk of stocks, which was giving me all the losses which I was having it prior years. So whatever the money which I lost it in the early part of the investing and also in the trading, that particular year, 2013, gave me an astronomical returns. And that really also, like in those days, you don't have the long-term capital gains, and that really helped a lot. And that gave me the confidence, yes, whatever the money which you have lost, you are able to earn it back. And I always had an ambition to get myself retired early. So I wanted to, me and my wife, we had a plan called Plan X. What is Plan X? We wanted to retire ourselves by 40. So whatever the company which I was running in, it was giving me like a good salary and good perks and everything. So I was able to retire myself at 39. So this was in way back in 2015. And that is when I became a full-time trader. So once I made enough money, I told my wife, you guys have like in your life secured and everything. Now let me concentrate on the market. Let me see whether if I'm able to be successful in the investing part of it, I should be able to do it in the trading part of it as well. But early part of the career, it was not an easy joke, because you were trying to do everything in the futures and options space. Many people think investing is going to be similar to trading and trading is going to be something similar to investing. Both are completely different animals. And if you do not understand how they behave, they can literally bite you. So investing should be taken into a different concept. Trading should be completely a different animal, and you needed to know what you're trying to deal with. And most important attribute when I learned during this process is you cannot do everything. You cannot be an investor, you cannot be an intraday trader, you cannot be a positional player, you cannot be a swing trader. Rather than jack of all, try to master one. That is when I found out myself, rather than trading in every instrument which is available in the market, try to focus on one or two instrument which is going to be giving me larger than rewards what I'm looking for. And most importantly, try to find strategies which suits your kind of trading. Earlier people tell me, Shiva, like, and why don't you do option selling? Option selling is something which I always like, I don't want to touch that area. Why? During the Satyam saga, there were few colleagues who were there working along with me in the office. All these guys were trying to selling Satyam puts at the time. There was a day when this Satyam director came and released a statement. The stock fell from 200 odd levels to almost 30 to 40 odd rupees in a single day. And 90% of the traders who were selling the puts on that particular day couldn't exit the position. Those days we had the freeze limits and everything. They couldn't exit, and some of them have to sell their properties to settle the dues for the brokers. That really like made me to feel that she was selling is something wherein you can have unlimited risk, which is always going to be a pain point any point of your life. You might be able to earn for 200 or 300 days all at go, but one fine day is enough not only to ruin your trading career, to ruin your life as well. Not only for you, for your near and dear ones as well. That's when I said, selling is not my cup of tea. At least in buying, I will know what is the risk which I've taken and what is the maximum I can lose. Even during this phase, we were making money because option buying is something which is very, very tricky in those period. Why? Unlike now, those days we had only monthly expiries, and that too for Nifty. We weren't having that much of volume for the Bank Nifty, which started later. But Bank Nifty is like a more tricky one compared to Nifty. Nifty, yes, you would lose money, but at least 1 or 2 days, wherein if you are able to identify the momentum and the pattern, you would be able to make money. But with Bank Nifty, you will completely lose it. So during this phase, I was learning it, looking at all the things what that has been like and happening behind my scenes, earn it for a month and then lose it at one day. Continuously, like, and you would have been doing that for several years. But this time, I was not able to do it. The reason is I don't have anything else to go back to. Now, I've got myself retired and I'm sitting at home, needed to do something productive which will make me keep me busy in the markets. That's when I started to tell myself, let me start with 5 lakhs. Rather than deploying whatever the capital which I have, let me start it with 5 lakhs, see whether I'm able to do and find a consistent strategy. Yes, I was able to make money for 3 months, 4 months. I was able to double or triple the capital. Then one fine day, due to my averaging and wherein as a buyer, your ego will get hurt because every day the strategy has been working. Why is not working on this particular day? Let me hold the position till the expiry. That is when it proved to be a disaster. Luckily for me, what has happened? 2016 is when the Bank Nifty weekly expiries came into the picture. Once the weekly expiry came into the picture, Bank Nifty is something wherein you would see a lot of volatility due to the high index value. All this made me a good asset class which I can think about focusing on. And from there, my real trading journey starts. Talking about like my big profit and a big loss. There was a day wherein during the China evaluate the yuan devaluation day, on that particular day, I think the market opened 5% lower. Every market opened 5% lower. And on the previous night, I bought the puts almost at like in the OTM strikes at rupees 30 or something. Next day morning, when it opened, it gave me a 5x return. When I say 5x, it opened at 140, 150. Those days, you had a freeze as well. Once the particular price has been opening and you will see the freeze, and then you will not see any buyers coming in at that particular price, and it will keep on moving up the ladder. Out of panic, when you see 5x profit on one fine day, what you would do, that is being the biggest profit of that particular like in a calendar year, I started to book my profits. It is already giving me 5x profits, but I started booking it. But after a while, by 9:45, if you'd have seen the markets, it was trading at 400 odd rupees. The reason is on that particular day, the puts have been like in continuously moving higher. So I literally gave my put positions to someone at 130 or 140 that if I could have hold on for to another 30 or 40 minutes, it could have given me the biggest profit. Still, I made 5x returns, but there was a regret. Shiva, why you didn't hold it for another 30 or 40 minutes? That particular thing, which will always haunt every trader. Even now, we always feel that we have given the positions, but somehow the market has been keep on running and I should have hold on to the winning positions. Yes, you win some, you lose some. Better to prepare yourself how you needed to handle it. Coming back to the biggest loss, there was a day, whereas I was in a meeting, I was in a board meeting wherein I needed to be there. Initially, I had the positions. This is a Nifty weekly expiry. I had the positions for close to 20 odd lakhs. And there was a time at 11:30, 12, the positions were like in falling from 220 odd levels to 150. I immediately told my PA, just add some more funds into the account and then average my positions. By 12:30, they added another 20 lakhs and the positions were added. By 1:30, the positions started to fall and it is below almost at 90 or 80 rupees. Then they asked me, do a final round of an averaging with 10 lakhs. They averaged it and it is a monthly expiry. I never looked at any data, anything. This is somewhere around 2014. I literally lost 50 lakhs in a single day purely because of my arrogance and the ego. The reason is that's usually a seller's day wherein I was expecting the whole month the price has been falling on this particular counter and it has to reverse somewhere during the day. My average was somewhere around 100, 120, but I went and closed the positions at around 10 rupees, which is the biggest loss which I've taken. And that particular day taught me a lot of lessons. When you're going to be in another meeting, when you're not going to be looking at the data, when you're not going to be looking at the markets, never ever trade. That's most important thing. And that is one of the biggest learnings during these two phases. So never cut your positions early when you're in a profit. Never hold on to your losing positions as well. Two important factors which I would say I've learned from my highest profit and the loss. And most of you know me as a Scalper Shiva. These are the things which made me to hold on to my positions and close my positions. Initially, I never know what a scalper's job is. Later on, as a person, when I was buying something and I wanted to quickly cut my positions, be it a profit, then yes, then I understood when you're buying something and closing your position within 3 to 15 minutes, that is called as scalping. But when it comes to a loss, we start to look at thinking that it is a scalp. Not only as a scalper, you will think about being a positional player. So as a scalper, I needed to identify if I'm buying and selling it, I needed to do both at the same time frame. And that's when I started to specialize myself in scalping. And many people ask me, Shiva, like, and what are the things which you do as a scalper? The most important thing is being having and like an you needed to possess the knowledge, knowing what all things been happening, and you should be able to take a quick decision and at the same time execute them, and most importantly cut your positions when it is not going in your favor. And important thing is, if you are making money or if you are losing money, try to stay humble. That taught me that yes, whether you are in a profit or a loss, if you are able to maintain your composure, you will be able to go on a longer term in the markets. As a scalper, it's a simple logic. Be the markets like an either it goes up or goes down, we don't care. All you needed to worry about is look at the data and execute as per your plan. And that has been my biggest strength in the last several years. And that's the reason people call me Scalper Shiva. And thank you, Joe Stocks, for having me here. And it has been a pleasure meeting you all. And you guys have been asking me for several rounds and several years. We have followed up. And finally, I'm here. I hope this story would inspire many people who have been watching this. Thank you all so much.